Hello, Will here, and I got Battlefield 1 for the PS4. So the game came out a week ago, and I was really looking forward to this game. I wasn't overhyped, but really looking forward to it, and I played the beta and I enjoyed that. What sold me on getting this game was the World War I setting, because it seems like every FPS nowadays has to be a futuristic shooter, completely different to every AAA shooter coming out this year. But how is Battlefield 1? So with Battlefield 1 you get a campaign, and the campaign in the game is decent. It's a bunch of little war stories telling different parts of the war from different sides. And I came into the campaign not expecting much, but what I came out, I was pleasantly surprised. You're not going to get the quality of storytelling like The Last of Us or Uncharted 4, but it's not as awful as Advanced Warfare. Press square to what? But the big problem is with the campaign, it's too short. If they kept it to 3 stories than 5 stories and spent more character development, the 3 of them than 5, maybe had it 5 hours longer, it would have been a great campaign. But really, it's an introduction to the controls of the game, so when you get online, you know what to do. So that's the campaign, but we really know why you want to get this game, and that is the multiplayer. First, we'll talk about the classes and vehicles. In the multiplayer, you have 4 classes to choose from, and those 4 classes are Assault, Medic, Support, and Scout. With Assault, they're really good at attacking and shooting really quickly, and they can also throw anti-tank bombs, and they can take out tanks easier than any class, and put dynamite down to open locked doors. Then you have the Medic, which can put heal packs down and revive teammates. Then Support, which can go around like the Medic and give out bullet packs then healing, and it can also heal tanks. Then you have Scout, and they are snipers, and they're my favorite class by far. But the sniping in this game is harder to get used to compared to other ones, because this game has bullet speed, and it's not going to immediately hit. So you gotta plan where they're walking to get the best hit. And you can change the distance from your guns from 75 meters to 150 meters to 300 meters. So it can be really hard, but it's still fun. Plus he comes with flare gun in his kit, and then when you get a kill with a flare gun or just even hit them with a flare gun, it's so rewarding and funny. The only problem I have with these classes is that if I want the flare gun from the Scout class and I want the healing pack from the Medic, I can't do that. I have to play one or the other, so you can't really make your ultimate class you want. And with that, you are in a squad, and you can have up to 5 people in the squad. And you're probably going, what are the squads? What do they do? You're asking. Well, if you're traveling in your squad and helping each other, it makes it easier to spawn in. But something dumb is that you can have private squads. I can understand why they're there, but when you join a game and there's like 10 private squads and they're all private with like 2 or 3 people, it really makes it harder to beat the other team because they're probably all in full squads. And with that, there are also vehicles in the game. You can drive a car, tanks, and horses to get into the fight quicker. And the maps can change with weather, and this is really cool because it can change up a whole battle with just one little thing. And that's not the only thing that can change on a map. The whole place is almost destructible. Any building can pretty much get destroyed by a tank. So let's say you find a sniper on top of the building that just keeps shooting you every time. What do? You run in there and just keep getting shot? Or do you get a tank and blow up the building so you kill him and then he can't go back in that sniping position? And there's even more stuff on the map. You have cannons and fast shooting guns stuck to the ground that can't move that are on the objective. So if you feel like the gun you're using isn't shooting as far as you want, or you're not getting the damage you want, you can change things up by using torrent guns. And that's just the ground warfare. And while you're on the ground, there can be planes going on top of you fighting each other or going after you. It's fun, but frustrating as well. Some planes you can ride have up to 3 spots, and 1 person can pilot and 2 shooters to shoot. And there's 3 vehicles in the game that can change things up. Let's say your team's getting smashed, the opposite team is 100 points ahead. So there's not really a chance of you to catch up. What they do is add one of these big giant weapon vehicles on your team to help you get up there. What they are is pretty much almost invincible vehicles. What they are is a giant blimp, a train, and a boat. Boat one I found to be very useless because it could only get on one certain part of the map. The train was okay, but it was on rails, but the blimp is really cool because even though you don't have control of it sometimes, and when it smashes down it will change the battlefield. And some of the parts of the blimp will just smash down and stay there for the most of the round, and just smashing buildings, and it can really change things up. So now to the game mode. There are 5 game modes in total, and we'll start on with objectives, the new prize jewel, the one EA is trying to sell you the most. And what this is, it can have up to 64 players trying to take 2 objectives on the map. You're trying to capture or defend it. But the attacking team only has a set number of lives. But when your team runs out of lives or the opposite team, they have 2 more attacks. This mode can go as quick as half an hour to maybe 2 hours on how good the teams are, and it's a ton of fun. Next mode is Conquest, where you're trying to take little parts of the map and also take the other team's parts of the map. Then the first team with 1,000 points wins. Then you have Domination, that is pretty much just Conquest on a smaller scale. Then you have Rush, that is pretty much also just objectives on a smaller scale. Then you have Team Deathmatch. The first team to 50 kills wins. That's pretty much what it is. Now you're getting to the best mode, and that is Pigeon Warfare. And what this mode is pretty much capture the flag with pigeons. And what you do, and you gotta capture the pigeon, write a note with the pigeon, and then fly it up in the sky, and then the first team to do that 3 times wins. Besides that, this game looks great on how it plays and runs. When you look around, you see the impact of war, how everything is getting destroyed. And how it looks, I think it's probably one of the best first-person shooters on the PS4. And it also sounds great with the explosions, the bullets, and the gun sound effects, and hearing your teammates shooting. And before a game starts, what they did with the loading screens is great. By having someone from the country you're fighting from explaining how the battle has ended up there.
Gestern habe ich ihn gesehen, diesen Artillerieoffizier, den Sie Durchbruchmüller nennen. Er ist hier, um die Sinfonie unserer 10.000 Geschütze zu dirigieren, die in nur 5 Stunden 3 Millionen Granaten abfeuern. Über die feindlichen Linien fegt eine Wolke aus Flammen und Asche hinweg.
So it's not just fun, you're also learning things as well, so that's a tick in my book. And even before you choose a map, you also get explained about the information going to happen in that game as well.
The US Army's attack along the River Meuse would be the first time most of these so-called doughboys had witnessed real combat. Though this assault came as a surprise to the Central Powers, the German army was an experienced elite force, ready for anything.
But, there is a problem. When you are playing the game, you will hear a lot of voices saying they're taking objective apples, they're taking objective butter.
Losing objective Charlie. We have lost objective Duff.
But this is alright when you're playing as a British army because you're getting told by a British woman saying that. When you're playing as the German army or the Turkish army, it's kinda weird getting this told by a British woman. What they could have done to had it even better was to have someone with a German accent to say all these lines. But at the state of the game, how it is at its release, it is a little bit glitchy. It's fully stable. I haven't had the game crash on me, but I have encountered a fair bit of glitches. Have they been that bad of glitches? No, but if you are not a fan of glitches, then just a heads up. But another problem is the loading screens. When you're not getting told what's about to happen in the war, they can go for really long, and this is really just in conquest mode. I found like waiting a minute and a half in the conquest mode loading screens, and it was pretty annoying. But my biggest problem with the game is the battle pack system. No, not those type of battle packs. These type of battle packs. What they are pretty much just loot boxes from Overwatch. They're not done well. Like, by when you open them, you get a skin for a gun. But you don't get the gun. What this is you get the skin, but then you have to buy the gun to use the skin. Why don't you just give me the gun? And even how it is done when it opens the battle pack for you, it's done really boring. It also feels really forced in. Why are there skins for guns in a World War I shooter? But besides that, I loved playing this game, and I'm probably going to play even more of it. I had a blast playing it, and I'm not looking at slowing down at all. This is probably one of the best FPS shooters I've played on my PS4. It's based on a real war. How accurate it is, I don't know, but it was still great. I know it's dumb, it's called Battlefield 1, but really, it should be called Battlefield Fun. That's why I'm giving this game a 9 out of 10. This game feels like it's worth full price to me, so this is something you don't need to wait for a price drop or sale. This is something you should get immediately. Fuck was that? What was that? Oh shit!